just a hack. He's just an absolute hack. And he gets his ass kicked by his teammates every week. It's just, it's terrible. It's just terrible.
This Georgia team is almost unstoppable. I kept seeing the tweets. It's not an original one, but so many people have the gag that Georgia is Thanos. Georgia is the program that nobody can touch. And someone needs to rally in some fashion to at least put a chink in the armor, to knock them down a little bit. I don't know if that is going to take an injury to an important player. That probably won't even do much because they are so talented across the board that, if they lose a Jalen Carter, they lose a Nolan Smith, that's not going to impact anything for this Georgia program because there's so many talented guys on this roster in every single position. Brock Bowers, holy crap, the kid is an underclassman still. I believe he's a sophomore in terms of eligibility, and he looks like a senior. He looks like a first-round NFL draft pick if he joined this year's class. He would go right next to Michael Mayer as the top 2 tight ends drafted in the 2023 NFL draft. That offense is unexpectedly extremely dominant because we saw times last year when Georgia sputtered a little bit. There were the games that they didn't play their best were because of offensive woes, nothing defensive that they were dealing with. But they're starting to hit that stride. They are starting to ascend to complete and utter dominance on both sides of the football. There's one question about Tennessee I'm going to get to in a second, and I assume it's in relation to Georgia. I have to say this, and I'm not, and I posted like a short on it. I don't want this to happen, and I don't think that this is the right thing to happen. And he's obviously not the best player in the country, athletically, physically, all those things. But we need to start preparing ourselves for if this Georgia team goes undefeated, they win an SEC championship, and they're going to a national championship game, that Stetson Bennett is going to be a Heisman finalist, and he might win the Heisman. I am not saying that he in any universe is a better player than Caleb Williams or more athletic than a J.J. McCarthy. I know that sounds so stupid to say because he was a walk-on, and he's tiny, and he's got a very limited arm. But we need to remember the history of this award. He is playing way better than we expected, and he is on the best team in the country. There is a very, very strong possibility, at the least, he is a finalist because of his connection to Georgia. They're sadly not going to give it to Brock Bowers, who is the reason why this offense is moving. They're sadly not going to give it to Jalen Carter, who is disrupting every offensive line and creating so many massive plays on defense because he's a defensive player. He probably won't even get invited to the ceremony. It sucks and it is weird, but there is, again, a possibility, a very strong possibility. It is trending in that direction that Stetson Bennett is going to be standing at that podium either as one of the finalists or maybe even the guy getting the award.